Welcome to round 3 with Eldrazi Tron, where we are on the draw. This hand is fine. We're going to be casting, this is that map plus Thought Not Seer hand I was talking about earlier. We even have Chalice if we need a Chalice early. Pretty great. Our opponent leads with a Serum Vision, which doesn't really change any of our plays. We draw another Tron piece, which is pretty nice. We can just Tron instead of Temple off of that. And they reveal that they're playing Ad Nauseam by playing Gemstone Mine. Pentaprism just doubles down on that reveal. So the second tower means that we're going to be turn 4ing a Kozilek, which is basically game over. And not a lot of, we're just getting Tron here. And now we have to, there's a little bit of cool sequencing here. So here, I'm going to lead on Thought Not Seer. The logic here is that one of the plays my opponent could have is they could be Pact Negationing and then killing me on their next upkeep. However, if I Thought Not Seer first, when they Pact Negation, the way they kill me on their next upkeep is casting Angel's Grace, which costs 1, and Chalice the Void still counters despite Split Second. So if I Seer and then they Pact, and then I play Chalice 1, the game is just over. They just, lose all of their mana or lose the game. So I like that choice. So I Seer first, and it turns out that they don't have a Pact. So this hand, I kind of went through it and it took me a second. Don't want to take Angel's Grace. The card has no immediate impact. I'm KOing it with Chalice, which leaves either Spoils or Spirit Guide. So you'd think I don't want to take Spoils because I'm... if you think I don't want to take Spirit Guide, so I'm KOing Spoils with Chalice. The thing is, my opponent can Spoils in response to Chalice for 1, and then Spoils again for another piece, so they can get Unlife Ad Naus or Echoing Truth Ad Naus, and maybe they'll just hit them all. And I don't want to have to fade the outside shot that my opponent's 2 relevant cards or Spoils are in their top 5 cards or whatever. Also worth noting, they actually have enough that they can go Spoils, Unlife, Spoils, Ad Naus, and just 2 Spirit Guides just go straight through. Just a lot of weird combinations I didn't want to have to consider. Whereas if I leave them with Spoils, Angel's Grace, there's just nothing they can do, as far as I can figure out. I guess they could Spoils for Ad Naus and then top deck an Unlife. But if I take a Spirit Guide, I'm not in a significantly better spot than that. So I took a Spoils, play my Chalice for 1. My opponent Spoils to an Ad Naus, bricks, concedes the game. They don't even know I'm just going to be Kozilek-ing them the next turn, but cool, great hand. Basically just absolute perfects for the matchup. Okay, sideboarding. So, pretty light sideboard here. I took out Spellskite, I don't have hate creatures I'm protecting or anything. I took out Dismember, does nothing. I boarded in Ratchet Bomb because it technically can kill a Phyrexian Unlife. I boarded in Walking Ballista because it technically has power and toughness. And I boarded in Karn because it destroys lands. Not a lot of play to these decks against combo, which, recurring theme here. Not the biggest fan. So this hand does nothing against them. Turn 2 Matter Reshaper, turn 3 Smasher will just leave me dead. This hand is literally the same hand, except for it doesn't have good cards. This hand might do something. That's Thought Not Seer. Absolutely down with that. Scrytron land atop. Let's go. Opponent Thoughtseize is Reshaper, which was weird to me. And it either implies that I'm dead and I can't do anything, or they have another Thoughtseize. At least that's what I thought. And they suspend a Bloom on 2. So they hit it off of that Visions or the draw step. And now I'm just kind of hoping I rip Eldrazi Temple, which I don't. I rip that. There isn't anything I can do to disrupt their mana. If I kill, even though they don't have a swamp, if I kill Temple of Deceit, they'll just get a Plains or an island and then cast Ad Naus off the Black off Lotus. I can draw my land. I can cast my Thought Not Seer. It can get pacted, and then I can die on my opponent's upkeep. Nothing really interesting in their deck. They boarded an Echoing Truth because it's technically interaction, but game's over. Nothing I could have really done that game. I literally drew the cards and played them, and my deck did not give me any options. Okay, game 3 against Ad Naus. Then we have a 7 that literally does nothing against anyone. Perfect 6, does multiple things. Bottom of Waste because it does nothing. Lead on Temple because I might, get lucky and draw the other Temple. My opponent goes top with Visions, and I make a bit of a mistake. So I leave a. So first of all, I'm not really interested in just getting a 1 power creature down. I'm interested in countering like another Serum Visions. If my opponent goes top, or a Thoughtseize. My opponent showed me Thoughtseize last game. I want to counter that. They try to take Seer. If they go top with Visions, try to draw another one. I want to whale that. And here I just fire Seer and immediately realize my mistake because top do nothing is a very specific implication. It's that the next card down's an Adnaz. So I take on life. It's the only card that does anything, but they draw their Adnaz this turn. I don't draw another Thought-Knot Seer. I attack, and then I play the spell like I can, and then I lose the game. If I slow rolled, I think I would have been in a reasonable shape to win because that deck is so bad at finding the other Adnaz. But mistakes were made. I still feel choked on interaction the same way I did against the Valakut deck. That seems to be kind of an inherent issue with this deck. One minor note, I did leave all his dust in my deck and almost boarded in a second because killing on life is just really important. It buys my opponent about 2 turns additional life total as opposed to Angel's Grace is 1, which I obviously can't stop with removal. But like the fact that I'm like boarding in a 7-drop sweeper against my opponent is pretty bad sign.